welcome to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. It's actually day 2. Working out here, getting some trees cleaned up. So yesterday, got some trees dropped. Obviously have old truck here with the dump trailer, taking brush back. So saw all that. That was yesterday. Today, have a couple more trees we want to get dropped, and one in the woods that we want to get done. So we're gonna go back in the woods, get it pulled out. It's one we dropped a while ago and just haven't had big tractor here to get it pulled out because it is fair size. So we want to do that. But then we have 2 more trees that are going to affect the septic area. So that's kind of our goal now, is to get them dropped so that we can start working on that. So there's a sycamore tree here, the closer one, that we want to go ahead and fall because we can get it to go this direction into the open. There's another one back there, but it's actually going to want to go back toward the woods, so it'll be okay. And then this big red oak here, it'd be easiest if it dropped that direction just because it's pretty tall. So I'm going to get those 2 today. We already got several done yesterday, 3 big ones and then a couple of smaller ones that were down over the hill. So just working on getting this opened up and trying to get it cleaned up and get everything out of the way to the point where we can start working on the septic. Alright, as I mentioned, we're gonna go back into the woods here. So not enough room for the truck, so put the chainsaws in the bucket there, and Dad's just riding along the side. That is one disadvantage of just having the 62. Typically don't have the Otter here, the RTV. So here it's about the 600 point. I'm kind of familiar with our kind of layout, but basically we dropped this tree to kind of get it opened up. We did it back whenever there weren't as many leaves on, and basically got it to open up the line of sight back to the 1000. This one we dropped and then just hadn't gotten back to get it cut up. There's a couple pretty good chunks in it that will be sawmill worthy and a fair amount of firewood in it. So we get what we can pulled out. Here, just pull everything up to the 500 in pretty long chunks here, just because it's open. At the 500 here, we kind of have this plateau opened up, and had taken a couple locust trees out there and really got that kind of as a turnaround point. So using some chains and chokers to get this stuff hoisted out. It's pretty far down in one of the holes from the coal mine. Just the way this tree fell, it ended up kind of falling across that, so there is a little bit of a split in it, which will limit what we can get out of it as far as the sawmill goes. And there's a pretty good top in it, so we try to leave some of the top back and then just pull out what is really going to be firewood. It's in a ravine that isn't utilized at all, and you could see that the best spot we got back to whenever I first got there, I just used the grapple to really kind of open up and get some of the briars out, and that's kind of what I'm backing into here. So just got it kind of opened up enough to where we could get stuff drug out. So between this being fairly heavy and then also the how far down in the hole it is, we wanted to wait for the 62, just because the 62 can pull a lot more, but then also you can see how much we're utilizing the backhoe to get things hoisted out of that hole. I think this is about the last one of what we get pulled out. It's kind of getting into just more of the firewood territory here, but wanted to save as much of that as possible. So kind of get it pushed over to the side, and at a later date we'll come back and get that cleaned up. And then go ahead and just put the chainsaws in and get everything back up to the home site so we can start working on our trees. So we already gotten this one dropped, I think, before I got a lot of camera on it, so those are just some rogue pieces of red oak from the last video that had sat there that hadn't gotten picked up yet. This will look very similar to the other sycamore that we did. So there's like a grove of, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them kind of right there together. We got one of them yesterday, and then I got this one here. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, there's kind of another 1 or 2 back there, but they're leaning the other direction, away from the septic. So those won't be ones that we focus on right now. We'll get those at a later date. That's the thing with the grapple. The one I got of this size is, and these logs specifically, you can typically get 2 in there, but you kind of have to, you know, get them just correct and get everything set just so that you can actually get it picked up and turned. So like there, I had a smaller log and was able to actually get it to sit on top and then get the second one picked up. So just a little bit of a game to get all that picked up. So I didn't get the very end of getting that picked up, but we got all the brush. Kind of spared you the loading the dump trailer since I had a lot of that last time. But now we're focusing on this red oak, and we want to dig it out. It's at a level, an elevation to which we're going to cut down a lot of this dirt and push dirt kind of the direction of that to help flatten that out when we start to work on the home site. And any extra dirt that we take from the septic area when we dig that out will more than likely go this way to kind of help make the drive a little bit flatter and kind of have a nice area up top. So we want to dig this out. So it ends up being a pretty good chore. Have a pretty good crater that we dig out around it. I'll show you a few different shots and angles from it. It takes 4 hours, I think, to get it dug out before it finally falls. And we still don't get it to fall exactly the direction we want. So we really want it to fall kind of either toward the camera here or preferably along the drive. You can kind of see to the right. You just put it in the open and make it so that, you know, we can utilize the 62 to really, you know, pick up the brush, pick up the big pieces, and everything. But this tree obviously had other plans, so we got to where we had a pretty good thing dug out around it. While he was on the tractor, did a little bit of drone footage, just kind of show you what it looks like from above and, you know, kind of getting that dug out. But like I said, it was a pretty good chore. It took a long time to do. And we could get it to rock a little bit, but it just, since we're kind of pushing uphill, you can see from this shot, the tractor's pointed downhill, so whenever you push, you're kind of pushing the tractor down. So that wasn't helping, and just couldn't really get the force behind it that we needed to get it to fall that direction. And at this point it had gotten fairly dry, so the dirt wasn't as forgiving either. So that's another factor that was part of this is, you know, before the soil was had that moisture, so it had a little bit more give, whereas right now it has gotten fairly dry and everything. You can see whenever he pushes on it and the wind and everything, it kind of is moving that tree, but just didn't want to fall over. Here at the end of this time lapse, you can see finally it comes to the top side to get it to fall into the woods, which does take out a locust tree that we were worried about because it did have a hollow spot in the way it grew, but it did take out several other trees. So finally start pushing on it and get it to fall right into the woods. And even this root ball is just huge, so start getting as much dirt off as possible
and end up having to take another chunk of wood off of it before the 62 would even attempt to pick it up. And even then, the 62 just got it off the ground when I took it back to the green hole. So just getting it cut up here. Got it cut up, and then now that I can kind of maneuver it around to get as much of the remaining dirt off. So this last little bit's going to be a little choppy. Ended up coming back over later to get some of this kind of cleaned up, and didn't have the cameras with me, so there's going to be a little bit of it here that's incongruent. But basically we get the root ball out. So I get that opened up enough to where I can get the root ball kind of picked up some and get it down to that flat location, and try to get it out, and have to cut another section out. So I have these two good pieces that I just took out that will be great on the sawmill. Be able to make some nice boards and posts out of those. So coming to a close here. I have more videos of getting this mess cleaned up here, so stay tuned, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.